Good morning. It's the 10th of April, 2026. Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. The show is brought to us by the creator of the universe, the Lord your God, Yahweh your Elohim, the wonderful people over on Patreon, where the written brief can be found this morning. And, of course, refugemedical.com. Promo code BearNation for 10% off kits, components, trainings, etc., etc. Okay, cool. We're going to cruise the internet today and just do some OSINT. We're going to use some OSINT as a clearinghouse for some rumant and intelligence assessments that hopefully will allow you to navigate the coming unpleasantness in a way that not only preserves the life of the people that you're responsible for and that you love, but also helps mitigate unnecessary suffering. Sound good? Okay, Bear. All right, cool. Wonderful. Kofefe. Goes to other tab. Doot. First thing that I saw that was interesting this morning from RT, Russia Today. So, propaganda, yes, we know. North Korea tests new electromagnetic and blackout bombs. Oh, wonderful. Pyongyang is seeking to expand its arsenal with non-nuclear special assets. North Korea has conducted a series of high-tech weapons tests, blah, blah, blah. Tests were conducted over the course of 3 days. Kim Jong-suk, a general who oversaw the tests, describes the electromagnetic systems and carbon fiber bombs as special assets in the country's arsenal, but provided few details about the nature of the new weapons. South Korean military said it detected several missile launches from North Korean territory. The projectiles flew 240 to 700 kilometers, according to Reuters. Now, in miles, that's like some miles, I don't know, American Eagles per cheeseburger or something. The, quote, blackout carbon fiber bombs are designed to disperse conductive, graphite-filled filaments over electric grids and power plants to induce short circuits. The non-nuclear electromagnetic pulse, or EMP weapon, is another type of device similarly intended to neutralize electronic circuits in military assets, such as radar systems and aircraft. So this is great. The tests also included a new cluster warhead for the Hwasong-11, a nuclear-capable ballistic missile. Blah, blah, blah. North Korea, I don't know. Maybe they'll get some freedom next. I don't think that they have a lot of oil, so they're probably relatively low on the list of places to get freedom, but we shall see. What I find interesting here is 2 of the 3 munitions that are listed are specifically for attacking grids and electrical components. Please excuse my tuberculosis, my consumption. I've got to move to Arizona, grow a Doc Holliday mustache, and die quietly after an old Western gunfight. So that's my plan for dealing with the tuberculosis. Yes, Tombstone, the movie Tombstone. Yeah. In any event, I find it interesting, as an American, an American-centric worldview, we think, well, North Korea could reach the United States of America with some of these ballistic missiles and take out part of the grid. They could, but they could also reach other parts of the region, other parts of the world, including the region that they're in. It's just, it's interesting to me that they continue to develop weaponry specifically to attack the electrical grid, because no grid, no modern human life, no successful flow of electrons. This is going to blow your mind. All the electronics stop working, and everything is electronic now. Very few things are mechanical. So basically all systems stop functioning. Food, water, transportation, medical, refrigeration, that's a huge one. Communications, modern life is just gone. As far as EMPs are concerned, we see this a lot as far as a common trope in the prepper sphere, like, Mr. Bear, what do you think about an EMP? Are we going to get EMP'd? It's impossible to say 100% yes or 100% no, but I do not feel strongly that the United States will get EMP'd based upon current assessments. And the reason for that is that the Retaliation for an EMP attack is the same as a retaliation for a nuclear attack. So if you were to EMP the United States of America, homeland, the response would be the same as if you had nuked us. Now, it's interesting to consider the reason doctrinally that one would EMP an area rather than nuke it is that when you nuke something, you ruin it. You deny it to your enemy, but you also deny it to yourself. When you EMP something, a region or an area, you take it offline without damaging, I don't know, the natural resources, like the world's greatest breadbasket in between the Appalachian and the Rockies. So, just interesting thoughts here, observations regarding North Korea and their ballistic EMP missiles and their graphite filament missiles. It's quite interesting. I would encourage you, if you do not have the power goes out and stays out plan, that's where the bulk of your preparedness, especially if you're brand new to preparedness, should be focused currently, because all the systems go away, which means you now have to be your own system and mitigate the threats from the people that don't have their own systems to replace the grid. Okay. All right, moving along. Go Fefe. Do. From the New Republic, sky-high oil prices, a fertilizer shortage, and now a super El Nino. Super El Nino? You know, everything's just got to be, it's a trope in the news. Everything's got to be worse now than it was previously, because if it's not worse now or more extreme now than it was previously, then there's no reason for you to click. There's no reason for you to pay attention. It's part of why you'll commonly find the title of these shows to include words like fake and gay. Like, it's all fake and gay. Because in many cases, it is fake and gay. Like, the super El Nino. Shut up. Blah, 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 blah. I should have pre-read this article more thoroughly. It's okay. We got time. Everybody's got time. The Persian Gulf region is a major producer of fertilizer, and roughly 1/3 of the world's seaborne fertilizer trade. There's a phrase that most people probably didn't have on their 2026 bingo card. 1/3 of the world's seaborne fertilizer trade passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, how biased that we keep talking about the Strait of Hormuz, but not the gay of Hormuz. You know, I understand that DEI culture is over, but what about the gay of Hormuz? Why just the Strait of Hormuz? You know what I mean? Okay, continuing. 1/3 of the world's seaborne fertilizer trade passes through the Gay of Hormuz. Moreover, both natural gas and sulfur are critical inputs for fertilizer production, and the Persian Gulf supplies of these commodities has also been cut off. This has caused fertilizer plants in South Asia to shut down, while China, one of the world's largest fertilizer suppliers, has restricted exports to protect its domestic markets. Wonderful. So, global fertilizer prices are surging. Governments are scrambling to secure fertilizers, food security, rising grocery prices, tighter supply, margin pressures. In the U.S., this has already resulted in the lowest planting of spring wheat since 1970. This is great. It's good stuff. Why do you care? Because to the extent that you can produce food, you should produce food. Now, I get a lot of y'all. You're like, but Bear, you don't understand. I live in an apartment in the city. What can I do? You can get buckets, and you can put plants in the buckets, and then you can put light on the plants and water in the buckets, and then those plants will make food. Now, how much food are you going to produce in an apartment? Not a whole hell of a lot. But what you will produce is the reps and the sets, the skill set that if you had to, produce food somewhere else, you could. If you live in the suburbs, plant a garden. Oh, but my HOA. You know, I lived in an HOA one time in North Texas. We got both Yard of the Month. We got a gift card, I think, to Chili's or something for $100 for Yard of the Month. In the same month that I was also fined $2,000 by the HOA for having a commercial vehicle parked in my driveway. And I'm me, so I did a quick tour of the neighborhood, and I found 38 other commercial vehicles parked in driveways. And I was like, you want to have a war? Let's have a war. So that $2,000 fine may have disappeared. Actually, you know what? Story time with Bear. It escalated before it disappeared. A lady from the HOA office called to let me know that they were sending a wrecker to attach to my truck to tow it out because commercial vehicles were not allowed. Now, we lived right next to the model home, so, working class country redneck next to the model home was not exactly the look that they were going for. So the lady said, hey, we're going to tow your truck if you don't move it. And I said, ma'am, if you hook a wrecker to that truck, I'm coming down to your office. And when I leave that office, I will be the only one walking out of your office. And she said, excuse me? I said, I'm going to come to your office. And when I leave, I will be the only person walking out of your office. Do you understand me? And she said, I believe I do. I said, do not hook a wrecker to my truck. And that was that. But cops and law enforcement, quit being a pussy. There's so many of y'all. Just quit being a pussy. I don't know how to, I can't help you. If you're afraid of an amorphous homeowners association body, you're not going to make it. So anyway, in the suburbs, you should plant food. If you live rurally, you should plant food. You should plant and grow food your own. Now, but the fertilizer, Bear, there's a shortage of fertilizer. Yep. Compost. You should compost. And it's pretty freaking easy, man. Like, permaculture. How many homies do we have in the permaculture space? Nick Ferguson, he's awesome. Look him up. Joel Salatin, he's awesome. Look him up. Billy Bond, he's awesome. Look him up. William Bond, he's awesome. Look him up. Like, you got resources here, man. Use your resources. Compost is easy. I used to snatch people's leaves, their fall leaves, when they would rake their yard. I would get the big brown bags of leaves. They already put them out to the curb. Clearly, they don't want them. And I would make compost in my backyard. And I had a dump truck load of compost in my backyard that I made with a wheelbarrow. In my third of an acre backyard in North Texas. I found some people that they had some horses. And I got the manure from the horse stalls, with the shavings and all that. Loaded it up and brought it home, made compost. Yes, Grazon is a thing. Hay that's been sprayed with Grazon, nothing else will grow. So be careful what you get. But my point is, you need to probably work on your food security when nation states are working on their food security. That's typically an indicator that we should be working on ours. Okay? Okay, Mr. Bear. All right, cool. Moving right along. Let's see. Where'd this go? So you're never going to believe this, but Trump is pissed and sending angry tweets again. Oh no. Wah. It's coming from NBC News. President Donald Trump went after big name conservative media figures on Thursday, that would have been yesterday, over their criticism of his handling of the war in Iran, calling some of his former allies low IQ losers and nut jobs. Now, right now, it's very much so, it's a fairly quiet media propaganda state right now. So there's not a whole lot of big talking points. It's also Friday, and shenanigans tend to go down Friday and Saturday, geopolitically, militarily around the world. So it makes me, I'm not afraid, but I'm definitely interested. And antennas are up and tuned, waiting for the shenanigans to ensue, because that's typically when they go down. Now, officially or unofficially, I'm unsure currently what the official standpoint is. We'll just say unofficially. The ceasefire in Iran has already been violated. And the Strait of Hormuz has gone from about 100 to 120 ships per day. A lot of which were carrying, those oil tankers are carrying a couple million barrels of oil per tanker. Gone from 100 to 120 a day to somewhere around 15 currently. So technically the strait is open, but is it open to the capacity at which it operated previously? No, it's not. About 1/6, 1/8 of its former capacity, so somewhere between, call it 12 and 17% of its previous capacity. So just because stuff is moving through there doesn't mean it's moving through there with expediency. So ceasefire has been violated. You got Hamas is pissed about Israel strikes in Lebanon, as if the United States is capable of telling Israel what to do. It seems very much so the other way around, which actually brings us back to President Donald Trump went after big-name conservative media figures. Trump criticized Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones, who have all broken with him over the war. "They're losers just trying to latch on to MAGA," Trump wrote on Truth Social before dishing out personal insults. "They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it, and everyone else knows it too," he wrote. He said Carlson should see a good psychiatrist. He called Owens is crazy, describing Jones as saying some of the dumbest things, and referred to Kelly as having nastily asked him about his past remarks about comedian Rosie O'Donnell. She's a fat slob. Rosie's a fat slob. I was going to push her off a tall building, and people said, no, don't do it. If she lands and she hits the ground, she could crack the earth and we would all fall into a black hole made out of lava. And so I said, I'm not going to do it. I want to do it. I thought about doing it, but I didn't do it. I did it for humanity. I didn't push Rosie off of the top of the Empire State Building, but I wanted to. Anyway, if we're talking about delusional and gay, at some point we need to start moving President Trump into this category as well. Not matter of opinion, matter of fact, you shall know them by their fruits. Owens responded by posting a screenshot of Trump's post on X and writing, "It may be time to put Grandpa up in a home." Oh, snap. Trump's mad that he's wrong. He's mad that he got set up by Israel, Jones said on his show. "Once a man, twice a child," he added. "This is dementia." Spokespeople for Carlson and Kelly did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Remember, we spoke on Wednesday about the possibility of a soft coup. Remember that? Go watch Wednesday's show. In the past week, Carlson, a former Fox News host, called on U.S. military aides to reject plans to kill Iranian civilians, while Owens, the former communications director of Turning Point USA, how interesting, said the Trump administration was satanic and urged Congress to have the Mad King Trump removed. I think the cheese is sliding off a her cracker too, by the way. And so all of this, there's some interesting reporting that's coming out. It will probably never see mainstream media. And what do I mean by mainstream? I don't mean Fox and CNBC and NBC. And I mean, probably never see the light of day, but foreign countries, foreign interests through cutouts are providing advertising revenue to a lot of these individuals, as listed here, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, etc., through cutouts, paying for ads on their shows in order to have access and placement to craft and then push certain narratives. And it's one of the cool things about this show is bear independent, beholden to no man. I don't make ad revenue. I'm supported by y'all on Patreon. Simple as that. Homemade gummy bear. So, I don't have to do, Raid Shadow Legends ads on YouTube in order to make a couple of bucks. I don't have to talk about, freaking erectile dysfunction medication on my podcast in order to make a couple of bucks. Or whatever. You get the point, right? So remember the four primary motivators of people: money, ideology, coercion, and ego, right? MICE is the acronym: money, ideology, coercion, and ego. So money's a pretty obvious one. If you don't have money, it's kind of hard to survive in 2026. So you need money, but if you're primarily motivated by it, it actually makes you pretty easy to coerce. Ideology is where critical alignment happens, and it's what most people are trying to leverage in order to get you to listen to them or build context and rapport with you. It's also the one that has the highest impact, positive or negative, good or bad. And so That's why you see a lot of like, you, me, same, nice eyebrows. Oh my gosh, you're a conservative, I'm a conservative. Oh my gosh, you're a prepper, I'm a prepper. Oh my gosh, you read the Bible, I read the Bible. We're basically the same person. Therefore, you should, and the implied, therefore, you should listen to me, you should trust me, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, money, ideology, coercion. Coercion works, but it's hard to affect with minimal resources. And some people can't be coerced. Like, what does coercion look like? You will do this thing or this bad thing will happen. Like Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Or like, whatever. Give me $1,000 or I kill your dog. That's extortion, but it falls under coercion, right? You do this thing because I will apply force if you don't. Hard power, soft power, whatever. That's coercion. And then there's ego. Ego, right? Just scroll Instagram. There's a lot of ego on Instagram, right? It's me appealing to your sense of vanity in order to get you to do a thing. Okay. So mice, money, ideology, coercion, and ego. And so in many cases, these individuals, and they may not even know that they're being worked, but they believe that they have an ideological alignment. But ideology is being leveraged to mask money and ego, and in some cases, coercion. All right. So our primary motivator should be ideology. However, with individuals like this, while it seems that way, that it's ideological, it's not always ideological. So consistency is what we want to look for here. And so the longer track record we have with people, the greater baseline we have for consistency, that they are ideologically motivated, not money, not coercion, not ego. Okay. There's a little human intelligence lesson for you. Soft coup. Remember soft coup. And then listen, it's not all puppy dogs and rainbows, but there are still puppy dogs and rainbows in the world. So from the Good News Network, I thought this was cool. Ruth Hasman has repaired hundreds of stuffed animals over the years since she retired. And so there's this lady in Vancouver. She's the teddy bear doctor. She stitches together kiddos, plushies, they're soft toys when they break. And that's pretty cool. Whether it was an overzealous child, a close encounter with a dog, or just too much loving, there's no damage she can't fix. From a mass-produced SpongeBob SquarePants to a 115-year-old hand-sewn bear cuddled through 5 generations, Hasman says her favorite part of the work is the stories behind each toy. She's made every kind of repair on a stuffed animal you can think of, from reattaching eyes, limbs, and heads, to fur grafts, to stitch-ups, stuffing transplants, and even voice box repair. If she doesn't have the material on hand because it's the wrong texture or color, she will scour local thrift shops until she finds a donor. I learned something new almost every time I fix one, she told CBC News. It's a pleasure talking to the people, finding out the history of the bears. There's a lot of poignant stories. Blah, blah, blah. She repairs the bears. She gets a thank you card. She makes kids smile by fixing their teddy bears. I like that. Good job, Ruth Hasman. And, she's done it hundreds of times. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. A little bit of comfort in the world. Prepper stuff. Needle and thread. Sew a needle pulling thread. Okay. Do you know how to sew? No, I'm on the security team. We don't need to sew. Okay, cool guy. You don't have a little sew kit in your rucksack for that when your shit breaks in the field, you have a way to repair it? Because if you're on the security team, but you don't know that your shit is going to break in the field, then it sounds like you haven't done enough training to be on the security team. Oh, snap. What? You just got dunked on by a bear from the internet. Yeah. Everybody needs to know how to sew. Yeah, you don't have to be good at it. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It just needs to hold. It's like me with welding. I'm not great at welding. My welds are ugly AF, but they hold. Okay. Right? So, in any event, the ability to repair equipment or clothing or skin or vessels and organs. All this is sewing. All this is stitching. It's important. When I leave here, I'm going to Refuge so that I can go sew for product development for the Department of Defense. It's pretty important. I'm wearing an SOE hoodie. John, what does he do? He sews. He makes stuff for warfighters. So like, yeah, SOE tactical gear. You should get some. So like sewing is pretty important. And in some cases, just think about this. The morale of my 6-year-old's teddy bear lost its head. What are we going to do? Being able to stitch it back together and fix that? Right now, while things are air quote normal, that's got value. When things are abnormal, that's got even more value. Cool. Couple of other things. Number one, the KALEB House Spring Amazon Wishlist fundraiser. The link is in the description. There's an Amazon wishlist. This is for all the stuff to go inside of care houses for the women and children that we restore after they've been trafficked. We recover them, then we restore them. And they need stuff. And so we've been doing this for a couple of springs in a row. It's gone really well. And so if that's something you want to join in on, the link is in the description here on the YouTubes. So check that out. Thank you to everybody who's done that thus far. And if you'd like to donate monetarily, if the spirit is moving and convicts you, you can go to KALEB House, KALEB with a K, KALEB House, KALEBHOUSE.org, and click the donate button or read our 990s or learn more about us or whatever. And if you'd like to volunteer, volunteers, plural, volunteers at KALEB House, KALEB with a K, KALEBHouse.org. Cool. Lastly, grindstoneministries.com has recently had a change in leadership. While I regret to inform you of this, please understand that this has been a series of ongoing issues since October of last year. The board came to a unanimous decision without me, the other board members, although I was 100% in support of the decision that they made. And so we're unanimous across the board. As president of the board, we made a change to leadership. So it was required for the ministry to continue to move forward in a spirit-filled manner. And that's that. There's seasons for everything. If you're currently a Grindstone volunteer or you'd like to be, grindstoneministries.com or a Grindstone donor, just stay tuned. We're going to shoot an email out here probably pretty quick with some more details. But everything's good to go. We're ready to roll for spring storm season. No harm, no foul. But yes, there has been a change to the Grindstone leadership. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, refugemedical.com, homie. Listen, I've got a few seats left in most of our spring classes. There's a few seats left. And so I would encourage you to come to class, come learn experientially, do it with your hands, do it under stress, have a good time. We love training, and it's training season. It's springtime. Let's go. Sewn kits are, we're sewing as fast as we can. We're hiring people in the sew shop, getting stuff out the door. Made in America, guaranteed forever. 168 lives saved to date. And vacuum sealed kits as well. We've got lots of vacuum sealed kits. Waterproof, windproof, dustproof, great for a glove box or a center console or a backpack. They're excellent for making mass casualty kits, whether this is in a pre-hospital environment for like a school or a motor vehicle accident or anything like that. You just get a bunch of vacuum sealed kits, bleeding prevention kits, throw them in. For schools, they work great. Throw them in a regular backpack so that they don't look all super tactical. They just throw them in a regular backpack. And the only people that know that they're there are the people that need to know that they're there. And then when it's time to go, you can chuck first aid kits to each individual casualty. Super cool. Works great. They also work on your web gear, your line gear, your super cool operator gear. Just slide one into a pouch. And what's cool about that is they're waterproof, dustproof, mudproof, all that, because they're vacuum sealed in a heavy duty plastic bag. So in any event, refugemedical.com. If we can help you with medical stuff in any way, medical stuff, you can call the store, use the chat, or shoot us an email. Cool. Promo code Bear Nation. Thank you to everybody on Patreon. I enjoyed our exclusive live stream last night. If you'd like to hop on Patreon, you can do that. Link is in the description. It's also at bearindependent.com. Share the show with somebody you love. Have a wonderful day of prep, and I will see you when I see you. Teddy Bear Doctor. That's cool. As a also bear, it's good to know that like Ruth Hasman can put me back together if my head falls off. Bye.